No matter where you are on your insurance journey, if you don't have one of these 5 motivating factors, you've got no chance of checking your insurance off your to-do list. In this video, I'm going to dive into each of these 5 motivating factors so that you know how to spot them for yourself. Now, it doesn't matter how many ads you see or hear saying things like you insure your car, you insure your house, but you don't insure your most valuable asset, you. Unless you have at least one of these 5 motivating factors, getting your insurance plan sorted will continue to live on your to-do list. There is a quote from Richard Feynman, an American physicist, which says that the first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. Now, a big part of my job is chasing and following up people just like you. And after years of doing this, there are some common factors that I see for those of you who manage to successfully navigate the insurance process. A little secret is someone trying to scare you on TV is absolutely not one of them. There are 5 key motivations that I've found that drive you to take action. Number 1, there is a need. Number 2, there is an urgency. Number 3, there is a desire. Number 4, you have the money to spend on this. And number 5, you have trust. Now, if you want to jump ahead, I've timestamped each of these sections for you so you can easily scroll through and find the section that you're looking for. As always, the links for everything I've mentioned can be found in the video below in the description. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Craig and I'm the founder and head insurance expert here at True Pride. On this channel, I share videos that help simplify the world of insurance to help make this easier for you. If you're new here and you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date as I release these videos. Also, feel free to get involved and leave a comment below and I'll respond to all of these personally. The first question I ask you is what's motivated you to look at your insurances right now? The reason I ask this question is I know that it's not normally that we wake up one day and have a random thought, I reckon it might be time to get my insurances sorted today. Over the years of helping people like you with insurance, there are some common traits of those I have worked with. In case you're wondering if now's the right time to be looking at this for yourself, I wanted to share these with you to give you a better insight as to what to look out for. Whilst the trigger might be a well-placed Facebook ad or a timely conversation with a friend, the truth is, to take action on this, you have to have at least one of these 5 factors motivating you. Motivation number 1, there is a need. Just like anything, if there is no need, there is no action. The need is not going to be exactly the same for everyone, but there are 2 major times in which I find people start to consider their insurances. Number 1, you've just purchased a house and taken on a mortgage. Or secondly, you've started or about to start a family. In the first instance, if you've bought a house, looking at your internet banking and seeing that mortgage number staring at you every day, I'm sure you have thought about insurance at least once. Now, depending on your situation, whether you have kids or what level of assets you have, what you'd be comfortable with should something happen to you, there's not a one-size-fits-all approach for working out how much cover you need. I'll link to another video that shares my principles to work out how much insurance you need if you're interested. The other major time is when you've started or you're close to starting a family. For the first time, you know that you have a responsibility to take care of more than just yourself. For me, this is where you get the most value out of getting some guidance with your insurances. One of the most common questions I get asked is, how do I know how much insurance I need? Getting some guidance with this will help you to answer that question specifically for you. Now, whilst your needs are not going to be the same as everyone else's, I believe that the principles remain the same. Using this principles approach to getting insurance helps you to tell what I call an insurance story and be able to revisit this as your needs change over time. It is at this point when your insurance needs are the highest that you'll ever need. As we get older and we build assets, we pay down our debts, our need for insurance reduces. It's important that you have a framework to follow so you can reduce your cover as your needs change to make sure you don't spend any more money on premiums than you absolutely have to. Motivation number 2, there is an urgency. Now, we all know that we need to go to the dentist. If you're anything like me, I often miss a year without catching up and going to the dentist, and it's normally when I feel a little pain in a tooth that I tend to book in. Like always, I promise myself that I'll never let this happen again, and I'll keep getting regular checkups. And guess what? The next year comes around, I get busy, and the pattern continues, and it's not until that there's an urgency that I'm motivated enough to fit this in for myself. Your insurances are absolutely no different. If one of your friends talks to you about insurance, or you see an ad on TV, you know you should do something about this, but you have a million things on your plate and there is no urgency to get this done. So inevitably, it slides to the bottom of your to-do list. If you've read David Allen's Get Things Done book, you'll know how these different things to do that sit in our head make it difficult for us to get on with the things at hand. The reason for this, as David points out in his book, is that we don't give these thoughts any time frames. Your insurance is no different. Have you ever been thinking about insurance and had the thought, this will never happen to me? You're not alone. One of the big triggers that I see is when something unexpected happens to someone close to us. Someone who might be just like you. Now, one of my mates was diagnosed with adrenal cancer in his 20s. This came back 3 times. He has since beaten this, but in the weeks following his diagnosis, I had more calls from my friends about insurance than I'd ever had before. Seeing something like this makes it real. It makes us understand that it could happen to anyone. And typically we start to play out the scenario in our own minds that what would happen if something similar happened to us, and what would the impact of that be? I touched on this before, but the other motivation that I see is starting a family. Now, this changes the dynamic and forces you to think selflessly about insurance and the effect that not having a backup plan would have on those closest to you. Motivation number 3, there is a desire. Let's face it, I know insurance is not one of the sexiest of topics. I'm sure you could think of a billion other things you would want to be talking about, and more than that, spending your money on. Now, the definition of desire is a strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen. Now, let's take, for example, hanging a picture on your wall. You don't want to learn how to drill the perfect hole. You want to be able to see that print hanging, finishing off the space in your house. Nobody wants insurance, but you have a desire to feel the peace of mind that you have this sorted out and you can get on with the rest of your life. You may hear people say that insurance is a necessary evil. I can assure you that none of the people that I've helped with claims feel this way. This thought, though, is where the tension lies. How do you spend enough to give you this peace of mind without spending every spare dollar on insurance just in case you never need it? Again, this is where I believe having a framework to be able to tell that insurance story is crucial. My goal, believe it or not, for you and everyone I work with is to have no insurance. This would mean that you're flying and you can cover yourself no matter what happens. The truth is, though, this is only possible for a really small number of people. For everyone else, insurance is what fills the gap between what we need and what we have at our disposal. Now, I could throw every stat at you in the world about how likely something is to happen to you, but the truth is, there is more chance that you will never need your insurances. Honestly, I hope you never do. If you are in the smaller percentage of people who need to claim on your policy, then the money you've spent becomes invaluable. If there is no desire for this peace of mind, any premiums you spend on insurance will just seem like a waste of money. If, though, the goal is peace of mind, then these premiums are an investment towards that desire. Motivation number 4, you have the budget. Have you ever heard the Zen proverb about meditation? It says that if you don't have time to meditate for an hour a day, you should meditate for 2. Now, whilst I'm by no means saying I'm an hour-a-day meditator, but the principle's the same for insurance. If you don't feel that you have the budget to be able to pay for your insurances, you probably have a greater need for these covers than you think. The truth is, I believe that these budget restrictions are typically a mask for one of these other motivating factors not being met. For this reason, it's likely that you just don't see the value in spending money on insurances. Now, I'm sure you know that you're able to fund a majority of your insurance premiums from your super fund. Whilst this does drain the balance of your super fund, and this isn't ideal, it does mean that the affordability or budget limitations is not a real excuse. My belief is that you should have the minimum amount of insurance at all times. And this doesn't mean that if you have the money to spend heaps on insurance, you should be. What this means is that based on your situation, you should spend just the right amount to give you peace of mind and not a dollar more. As I've previously mentioned, this spend will change and in most cases will be reducing over time. The final motivation is that you must have trust. Let's face it, the insurance industry has taken an absolute beating lately. The Royal Commission exposing some shady practices to say the least. This can be a difficult hurdle to overcome. One of the reasons I started these videos was to provide an easy way for you to be able to consume information without the need to sit down with anyone until you felt comfortable. The most successful person I've seen at building trust in this space would have to be the barefoot investor. He has droves of loyal fans taking control of their money and getting ahead. Trust is not only in the person you are dealing with, but in the insurance industry as a whole. Have you ever felt like no matter what happens, the insurance companies will always find a way to wiggle out of paying you any money? Now, ASIC, who are the governing body for the insurance industry, did a research study into these payouts and found that over 90% of submitted claims were successful across all insurance channels, being direct, group, and retail. From a personal perspective, in the whole time that I've been working in this industry, I've never had a genuine claim declined. So if the reason you're putting off protecting yourself and your family is out of fear that the insurance companies won't pay you, I'd encourage you to check out the report, and I've included the link for you in the description below. Now, my wish for you is that you watch this video and realize, firstly, that you're not alone. It's perfectly normal to procrastinate on getting your insurances sorted out. What I hope this video does is clear up some of the myths or misconceptions you may have been thinking and allow you to get one step closer to getting peace of mind with your insurances. Now, if you want to take the first step, why not try my insurance calculator? This takes less than 5 minutes to complete, and within minutes, I'll send a personalized report on exactly how much insurance you need based on the responses that you've provided. Again, the link's in the description below.